Friends, hello and welcome on TechGuruSpeaks.com. Today I would like to describe Python exception handling. In Python programming, there are many built-in exceptions which forces the program to output an error when something in the program goes wrong. This type of errors are basically runtime errors which may occur during program execution because of the presence of some illegal code or operation. Examples of built-in exceptions are zero division error, type error, IO error, etc. When these exceptions occur, it causes the current function to stop and passes it to the calling function until it is handled by the appropriate handler. If not handled, the program will stop abnormally. As a result, the remaining legal code will be skipped. The concept of exception handling in Python will be demonstrated with the help of coding example a little bit later. For demonstration purpose, I will be using the IDE named Spider, which is one of the most popular IDEs for Python programming. Now the topics to be discussed are try except clauses. Basically the error prone code, that means the code that might generate some runtime error, will be placed in the try clause, and the error handling code, that means the exception handling code, will be placed in the except clause. There might be multiple exceptions in a program. Then comes the use of the finally clause, that means there might be some code which always be executed regardless of exception has occurred or not. Then comes the else clause, that means the clause will be defining a block of code which is executed if no exception is raised or created. And lastly, I will be giving you example of creating custom exception in Python. So that is the outline of my presentation and coding demonstration. Now I will be moving to the Spider IDE for demonstration. First, I will write a function using the dep keyword. Say the name of the function is division. It is basically based on integer division. So I will be using this symbol for integer division, that is also called float division. So the result will now be shown by using the print function. Okay, so that is the function. So here we are going to perform integer division, and after performing the float division or the integer division, the result will be printed by using the print function. So it's a very simple function. Now I will be trying to call this function by writing some function call. Say for example, I am writing here 10, 0. As you know that dividing a number by 0 is basically considered to be an illegal operation. So that means what? That means it will create an exception in Python, and if we don't have any exception handler in this program, what will happen? The program will abnormally terminate and it will show the message in the console which kind of exception is basically occurred here. So now I will be writing another function call that is basically indicating a legal code. But since exception occurs here, like because of the function call, there will be an exception, like whenever the value of 10 will be passed to A and the value of B will be having 0, so it will be basically indicating 10 by 0, that is division by 0. So because of the illegal code, an exception will be generated. Clear? And as a result, though the last program statement is considered to be a legal one, the program will abnormally terminate because there is no exception handler in this program. So as you can see it here, like zero division error, because whenever we are trying to divide a number, say for example 10 by 0, it is generating a zero division error, which is one of the built-in exception of Python. It is showing integer division or modulo by 0. So that means we are trying to divide a number by 0, which is basically an illegal operation, which is not permitted in Python. So that is why that kind of exception is generated. So the thing is that we now need to consider some kind of code that will be trying to handle the exception. That means if something goes wrong, there will be something that will handle the exception. So now the thing will be present in Python programming in the means of the try except block. So here the error prone code will be now placed inside the try block. So here the error prone code is basically C equal to A float division B, that means it is going to consider the integer division, and after the operation is performed we are going to print the result by using the print function. Okay, so now it is the error prone code. So because of this statement, if we are passing value like this, for this function call there will not be any exception like this. Okay, but for this particular function call, since we are going to divide by 0, so there will be some exception being generated. So now we are going to consider the except clause, that is for exception handling. That means if something goes wrong, what is to be done, that will be mentioned over here. So what is the name of the exception that is coming or that is being generated? That is basically zero division error. Okay, so now I am mentioning the type of error that might occur during the execution of the program. So now I can have a print function that will show that it is basically a division by 0 error. So first I have given you the idea, so which kind of exception might be generated if we are going to divide a number by 0. So if there is no exception handling code like try or except clause, so it will be terminating the program abnormally. That we have seen in the earlier program run example. Now we are going to modify the program so that the program will be running normally even if there is some exception being generated. So if something goes wrong, that will be handled by the exception handler. So that is the idea. So because of this kind of clauses like try and except in the Python program, the remainder part of the code that is considered to be legal will be executed. So there will not be any skipping of the remainder part of the code that actually occurred in the earlier run of the program. Now just have a look at it. Now the program is running perfectly. So since we are going to divide it, that means divide the number by 0. So 10 divided by 0, it is generating a zero division error, which is an inbuilt error in Python. So that is handled by the except clause. So since this kind of error is being generated, so we can have this print statement to indicate that we are basically going to perform here division by 0. Now for the next function call, it is completely legal, so there is no problem, so that is why it will be showing you the correct output. So in that way, if something goes wrong, that will be handled by the proper exception handler by means of the try and except clauses. Try clause will be containing the error prone code, and the except clause will be having the exception handling code. So by means of try and except clauses, we could be able to handle the exception in Python program. Now I will be giving you the idea of multiple exceptions. Now we can have another kind of call in this program because it is a modified program. Now I will be basically using here another character type of value. Okay, so if there is this kind of illegal code being placed, it will be handled by the corresponding exception handler. Okay, but if I am having a different kind of, say, input being passed as the value of b, so what will happen here? Just have a look at it. Now I am trying to run the program. I have just added one line of code statement here, that is a particular function call, but the value of b is here not an integer, it is basically indicating a character. Now let's see what happens. So it will be showing a different kind of exception being generated. Okay, so that means this exception handler will not be able to handle this because it is a different category of exception. Okay, so that means what, this particular exception will be specified explicitly by means of the corresponding except clause. Okay, so that is why we need another except clause in our program to deal with such kind of exception after being generated. So what is the name of the exception? That is called type error. So now I will be writing here type error. Like instead of providing integer value, I have given here character value. So certainly this is an error and it is of type error. So that is shown over here in the code. Now I will be trying to run the program. Now it's running perfectly. Like for the first function call, it is basically generating 0 division error, and actually this problem occurs here, that is the error prone code basically. So I can also run here the error prone code. It is basically the error prone code that is basically responsible for exception being generated. That statement can also be placed with respect to the first program. It is basically the second program that is basically dealing with the multiple exceptions. Now for the second function call, there is basically no error because it is legal code, so it will be running perfectly and showing the result for you. But for the last function call, again it is showing a kind of type error. As a result, since we are having the corresponding except clause indicating the type error, it will be handled by the corresponding except clause and the message type error will get printed here. So in that way the program will work for you. So that is the idea of using multiple exceptions. Now I will be using here a simple example of try, except and finally. As I have told before, there might be a type of code which will always be executed no matter whether exception has occurred or not. So that can be depicted here, or that can be illustrated here by using the finally block. So the finally block will always be executed regardless of the exception has occurred or not occurred. So I will be writing here inside finally. Okay, so now I will be trying to run the program by using an illegal code. That means it will be generating 0 division error because we are going to divide the number 10 by 0, and next function call is a legal code. Okay, but no matter whether exception has occurred or not, the statement inside the finally clause will always be executed. Just have a look at it. So here we can see that for this particular function call, which is basically indicating an illegal code or operation, that means division by 0, so it is basically showing division by 0 here because it is indicating an error prone code. So after generating the exception, the program will be now looking for the basically appropriate exception handler. So that will be handled by this except clause, and the statement inside this clause will be getting executed. Now after that, what we have the finally block. That means here it is considered to be a clause. Okay, so here it will be printing here inside finally. So in that case exception has occurred, but for the next example there is no exception being generated because it is a legal code. So that means what? That means it will be just printing the result for you. So 10 divided by 2, that means 5, but there is no exception being generated, but still it will be executing the statement inside the finally clause. It will obviously execute the statement inside the finally block no matter whether the exception has occurred or not. So that is the idea of finally clause in Python. Now I will be trying to create a custom exception in Python, and I will also give you the use of else clause. If no exception being generated, that kind of statement can be placed inside the else clause. Okay, so it is the example of a custom exception. So that is the example now I am going to show here. So custom exception, first I will create an exception. Say for example I will be giving you the exception. Say the exception is node, say a kind of exception that will be referred to as say low salary exception. If the salary, say for example, if the salary is basically less than 10,000, then it will be referred to as the low salary exception. So basically that kind of exception will be created depending on the requirement of the application. So first I will be trying to create the class by using the class keyword. Say for example the name of the exception class is low salary exception. Okay, now each of the exception will be having a say kind of parent class or base class that is called exception in Python. So it is the parent class of all these kinds of exceptions being generated. So it is basically showing the example of inheritance. So low salary exception is our custom exception, which is basically a child class of exception class. Clear? Now I am going to define the constructor by using the double underscore init followed by double underscore, then comes self comma value, that is the argument being passed here. So now I will be writing here self, that is the reference of the current class, self dot value equal to value. Next we can have a string representation of the object by using this function double underscore str followed by double underscore. Now we can have a self reference parameter which is indicating the instance of the current class. So you can have the string representation of the exception being generated here. So here I will be writing self dot value. Clear? It is basically showing the string representation of the object. So the name of the function is basically double underscore str followed by double underscore. It is basically quite similar to the idea of toString method in Java, and it is the idea of using constructor. Clear? And self can be compared with the idea of this, though in Java you don't have to write this, but the current instance can be mentioned over here by using the self parameter. Now I have defined the custom exception for this particular application. So it will be generated if the salary is less than 10,000. Okay. So now I will be having the try block. Say for example, salary will be now taken as an input from the keyboard. So I will be using the input function. So that is the function to be used in Python 3 for taking keyboard input. So I will be just writing a message here, enter your salary. So the value will be stored in this variable salary. If salary less than 10,000, so here we can raise an exception named low salary exception. It can be compared with the idea of throw keyword in Java. Like in the earlier examples, like the first, second and third program, whatever exception was generated actually considered to be examples of exceptions being generated implicitly. That means those exceptions were generated implicitly. But here in this example, we can generate an exception explicitly by using this keyword raise. Okay, so it can be compared with the idea of the throw keyword in Java. So if the salary value is less than 10,000, so that in that particular case that kind of exception will be generated. Now if the value is not less than 10,000, so here we'll print a message like it's okay. Clear? So next we can have the, or we must have the matching except. So basically it is the low salary exception, that is the name of the exception, custom exception. So here we will be writing here as error. So that is the idea, that we will write here. So that is basically depicted by means of error. Now we'll show a message here like print an error occurred So it is basically error dot value. So just there is a typing mistake, I need to correct it. So it is corrected, now it's okay. The code will be running perfectly now. So now the program is asking for the value for the salary. Say for example, I am writing here a value that is less than 10,000. So it is basically generating the custom exception. That means for this particular kind of value, it will be raising this kind of exception. That means this value of salary will be initialized the constructor, that like the value will be initialized with the value of salary taken as an input. Now we can have a string representation of the object if it is get called by using error dot value. Okay, so basically we are mentioning that thing here, like accept low salary exception as error. Clear? So by calling this thing like error dot value, it is basically calling this one, it is basically string representation of the object. Clear? So mind it, for this particular statement like error dot value, it will be calling the string representation of this, that means the string representation of the object, and as a result this value will be get printed here, like for which particular value of salary this particular exception is being generated will be shown over here. Now there is another thing we need to consider here, like if there is a particular kind of code or block of code which is to be executed if no exception is raised. Like for example, this part, if I am to consider this particular part like it's okay, so this particular part can also be written as a separate clause, or rather a separate as a separate block. So there is no problem in Python, I can still write it. Clear? So that is the example of try except else. Now I will be trying to run the program. So I will be giving you a value that is greater than 10,000. So there is no problem. So the else part, like the statement under the else clause will be executed. Now I will be giving some different value that is less than 10,000. Say for example 9999. So it is an example of low salary exception being generated because of the value, because the value is less than 10,000. So as a result, this is basically actually uh, making a call to the constructor. Clear? So this will be get called, that means the value will be initialized with the number 9999. Okay, now whenever it is mentioned under the except clause, that means after being generated explicitly by using the raise clause, so it must be handled by using the corresponding except clause. So whenever I will be writing here error dot value, it will be basically calling this one, this is the string representation of the object. So in that way the code will be getting executed. So I hope that you have understood what is the idea of exception handling in Python. Now in order to handle exception in Python, we must have try except clauses, like the error prone code will be placed inside try clause, and the error handling code will be placed in the except clause. We can have more than one exception depending on the application requirement. You can also have the finally clause, that means there is certain kind of code which will always be executed no matter whether the condition basically generating some exception or not. Clear? And we can also have an else clause, that means there might be certain kind of code, okay, so which is basically not related with exception. Okay, so that kind of thing. So it is basically defining a block of code to be executed if no exception is raised. Say for example here, if the value is here less than 10,000, so that kind of exception will be generated explicitly. But here if the value is greater than 10,000 or greater than equal to 10,000, so the else part code will be getting executed. So that is the idea of using else clause. And finally I have given the example of using custom exception. Like apart from built-in exception, we can also have the custom exception in Python. So this is considered to be a subclass. That means here it is considered to be a child class of exception. Clear? And we can have the constructor and the string representation of the object by using init and str respectively. So in that way, I hope that you have understood the functioning of exception handling in Python programming. With this, I conclude today. I hope you have thoroughly watched this video and understood the meaning of exception handling in Python programming completely. Now you will be able to write your own exception in the Python program. So I will be requesting you to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have liked my video. So here will be a subscribe button, just click on it. So this is the URL of my YouTube channel, and please visit my website. There will be lot of useful information for you, and this is my official email ID, that is admin@techguruspeaks.com. Have a nice day. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.